Look, this boss was made for walking, and, well, walking's what it'll do. One of these days, if you're not careful, this boss is gonna walk all over you. Fortunately, that day isn't today. That is, as long as you follow our guide. I'm Kinaesthesia, and this is LearntoRaid's Heroic Rhyolith Strategy Guide. On Heroic mode, the Rhyolith counter remains mostly the same. Phase 1 is still about Tokyo drifting the boss around volcanoes, while Phase 2 is a stomp the yard showdown. The boss himself, who still shares a health pool with his 2 feet, has around 35 million HP. He will continue to spawn sparks of Rhyolith and fragments of Rhyolith with around 8.3 million and 750,000 HP each. However, on Heroic mode only, a third type of ad will spawn called Liquid Obsidian. You'll want to bring 2 tanks, 5 to 8 healers, and a balanced mix of DPS. This guide assumes you are familiar with the normal mode of the encounter and will not cover base abilities and tactics. For our complete and in-depth coverage of this boss, please see the normal mode strategy guide. Completely unrelated, there is currently a storm outside about the size of Alakir passing over my house, so if you hear some rumbling and crashing in the background, that's not me nerd raging over the fact that we didn't get World First Heroic Ragnaros. That's just thunder and lightning. Anyway, as we stated, the core mechanics behind the encounter will remain the same. You'll need a team of players to properly steer the boss around the platform, making sure he properly stomps on active volcanoes to drop his obsidian armor stacks. The Shyamalan twist on Heroic is that liquid obsidian ads will spawn each time the raid successfully does this. These ads will not harm players but instead crawl slowly to Rhyolith and attempt to fuse with him, adding a stack back to his obsidian armor. These ads actually require little to no special attention. They will move at an astonishingly slow pace, and it's actually more effective to run the boss away from the ads and continuously kite them instead of kill them. A few ads will reach the boss when he stomps or if the raid needs to 180 him, but this should not actually impact the encounter heavily. Free DPS should be spent on the boss in order to steer him to volcanoes quicker and push him to phase 2 sooner. If needed, the ads can be slowed even more, but as stated, allowing 2 or 3 to reach the boss after each volcano is not a big deal. The rest of phase 1 will be handled as usual. Split DPS properly to efficiently AoE down the fragments and steer the boss effectively. A unique strat we use is placing an atonement priest on the spark ad in order to simultaneously burn it down and heal the tank. This is not entirely necessary, and your raid will be fine simply having ranged DPS switch to the ad once this infernal rage has stacked a bit. Throughout this phase, it's important to put a mark on your most capable and sexiest raider IRL for other players to stay near. The damage can ramp up quickly in phase 1, and keeping the raid together will make healing much easier. Phase 2 will begin at 25% health, but after 5 minutes, Rhyolith will begin to gain stacks of superheated. This means if the boss is around 35% and you only have 30 seconds or so left on superheated, it is usually a good idea to blow hero or lust and push him to phase 2 quickly. Allowing him to enter phase 2 with a high amount of superheated stacks will mean a near instant wipe. You'll want to rotate cooldown throughout phase 2 to ease the healing required, but the phase itself should not last very long at all. During phase 2, Rhyolith transforms into a creature from the War of the Worlds and begins tracking players with fiery laser beams. Simply avoid these while continuing to quickly DPS down the boss. Heroic Rhyolith is very close to his normal mode counterpart. Although the damage and health go up quite a bit, the fight's mechanics and execution does not change at all. Stay calm and do the fight just as you would on normal mode, but focus on proper execution. If you found this guide helpful or informative, don't forget to bookmark us at LearntoRaid.com, subscribe to us on YouTube, Blip TV, and Justin TV, and follow us on Twitter. As always, thanks for checking us out here at L2R. We hope this guide was helpful, and we'll see you at the next boss.
I wasn't feeling so good. I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So I went home, and I got all comfy and cozy and all scrunched up in front of my phonograph. And I sat there and I closed my eyes and listened to all the sweet